Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business Life with me, Pius Kojo Baka. On to our very first story. Ghana retained its position in Africa as the most indebted country to the International Monetary Fund, as the country's loan to the fund shot up to 35.3% in the second quarter of this year. We've got more for you in this report.
This is 451 million SDR higher than the 1.246 billion SDR recorded as of April 30, 2023. Ghana received $600 million as a bailout package from the IMF in June to revive its economy after going through fiscal challenges. According to the report, the country's loan outstanding to the fund is 9.55% of Africa's total of 17.68 billion SDR. Crucially, Ghana had repaid 8 million SDR, equivalent to $10.55 million, to the IMF. The nation's loan exposure to the Bretton Woods institution is classified as concessional lending with low interest financing. Meanwhile, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Kenya also maintained their second and third positions respectively in Africa, with the largest outstanding loans to the fund as of July the 31st, 2023.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, has questioned Ghana's preparedness to participate in the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. According to the president of the association, Dr. Humphrey Enyim-Dake, lack of capacity in many local industries to meet and compete with peers on the continent could derail the expected benefits from the agreement. He has been speaking at the 2023 AGI Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition.
The 2023 Association of Ghana Industries Industrial Summit and Exhibition was held on the theme Industrialization through Sustainable Efficient Supply Chains. The three-day event brought together captains of industry as well as small and medium businesses to network and deliberate on the growth of the sector. President of the association, Dr. Humphrey Enyim-Dake, called on government to support local firms scale up to stay competitive in the African region to ensure Ghana benefits fully from the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Our manufacturing subsector today's contribution to the gross domestic product, that is the GDP, has virtually stalled at about 11% per annum. While finding pathways to deepen our industrialization drive in this 3-day summit, it is my wish that we explore ways of attracting investments to quickly develop the raw material base we consume. Currently, our preparedness to take full advantage of the Continental Free Trade Agreement is still debatable, considering the state of our capacity and our productive base.
Minister for Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, assured players in the sector of government support to protect local industries.
Cost of financing, transport and logistics, regulatory compliance, port and custom clearance, taxation, as well as industry-specific imbalances in the tariff regime for imports and locally manufactured products. Government is not oblivious to them. And did I hear you recite a litany of items you believe should not be imported into the country? Mr. President of the association, watch the space. In the very next few weeks.
The European Union Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Ali, reiterated his outfit's commitment to ensure the sector gains the needed funding for growth.
We are supporting the competitiveness of the economic environment in West Africa and at continental level. We are ensuring local value addition, and we know that this is a key leverage tool in order to support industry. We are ensuring access to funding. We have supported the Development Bank of Ghana in the tune of 170 million euro, precisely in order to make access to funding investment easier for SMEs and young entrepreneurs.
The three-day event, which will host various dialogue sessions on the growth of agribusiness, trade finance, supply chain, and other pertinent areas, also showcase wares from Ghanaian manufacturing firms.
Wage differentials show that women in Ghana are paid 34.2% less than men. This is according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service first quarter of the 2022 Annual Household Income and Expenditure Survey. James Ishen reports.
The gender wage gap is lowest among paid workers with tertiary education, more where women earn 12.7% less than their male counterparts. The wage gap is highest among workers with basic education of 60.1%, followed by workers with no education of 55.0%. When comparing sectors of employment, the gender wage gap is the highest in the private informal sector, where women are paid 58.7% less than men. This is followed by the private formal sector with a wage gap of 29.9%. The public sector, where women are paid 10.5% less than men, has the lowest gender average gap. Among the population aged 36 to 60 years, women are paid 33.4% less than men, a wage differential almost 3.0 percentage points higher than for the age group 15 to 35 years, where women were paid 30.7% less than their male counterparts. For Joy Business, James Ishen.
And reacting to this, Head of Economics Department at the University of Ghana, Professor Williams Bamboatin, says there is a gap between women do not venture into higher earnings occupations. According to him, the best way to close the gender gap is to increase education in women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Historical narrative as far as wage differentials are concerned. For instance, we look at the US. In the past, the wage differentials were very wide, but now it is coming down. Why? Because they've been able to put measures in place to get women into disciplines, education and discipline, and also the type of occupation that men dominate. A typical example in Ghana, if I can use Ghana as example, is that if you look at the mining sector pays quite well. But if you look at the number of women engaged in mining sector, women are underrepresented. When you break the mining sector into pieces, you also found out that where we have engineering, the core mining activity, women are woefully underrepresented. Men dominate, and that is where the salaries, the higher salaries are. Women we found in areas like clerical, HR, and so on. And when you compare salaries of that particular occupation and the core mining activity, you see that there's lower wage among the clerical compared to those in the engineering sector. So if you want women to match up with men in terms of wages, then you have to encourage a lot more women to go into mining engineering and get into the core mining activity, and they can also earn as much as their male counterpart. In that case, you'll be able to bridge the gap.
And that's all for Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. Do get stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. We've got international business.